The main difference of the current generation of Ford Explorer lies in the monocoque body. He had independent suspension before, powerful engines too, a spacious interior and a solid appearance, it goes without saying. But the fifth generation Explorer, which appeared in 2011, turned out to be even larger, even more spacious inside and much more modern on the outside. In addition, a couple of years after the start of production, it was updated. In Russia, it has been presented since the very beginning of world sales and is generally well received. When it comes to the used Ford Explorer market, we strongly recommend that you pay attention to the restyled version that appeared in 2013. All officially sold cars were assembled in Russia, and this, alas, left a certain imprint, but not at all on the build quality. The Ford Explorer is definitely great. In terms of geometric dimensions, more than 5 m long, almost 1.8 m high, 2.86 m wheelbase. Making such a large body strong is quite difficult, especially when the manufacturer is worried about the price of the final product. The car is built on the D4 platform, which grew out of Volvo's development, which in turn became the D3 platform and is used in a whole range of cars. The only SUV on the D3 was the Ford Freestyle/Taurus X crossover, while the D4 was made by the Flex, Explorer, and Lincoln MKT. So, if you put the rear wheel of our hero on a high curb, then you should not be surprised that the mechanism for automatically opening the fifth door will not work. The torsional rigidity is low. For the door drive mechanism, this is not scary. There is a force limiter in it. The roof starts to leak much more often. At the points of attachment of the rails, joints and frame of the windshield. They say that it only leaks on Russian-made cars, and localization is to blame for this. The sealant that was used at our factory turned out to be of poor quality, cracked, and leaked over time. At the same time, no one claims that the sealant was domestic. And to replace it without a trace, you need to repaint the roof. Estimate the cost yourself. Another cause of a leak is a clogged panoramic roof drain, and the water in the trunk indicates problems with the junction of the roof and the rear panel of the body. In addition, in the early years of production, a strange situation arose with corrosion. The body is galvanized, that's a fact. However, in sometimes completely unexpected, places, peeling of the paint could appear. Therefore, first of all, it is worth inspecting the bottom of the side doors and the bend of the front edge of the hood. No less strange is the situation with the rear doors, or rather, with their seals. Either they were stiffening ahead of time, or the doors themselves were crooked, but dust and dirt were pretty sucked into the cabin. The owners claimed that the dealers offered them to bend the doors themselves. After the upgrade, the problem disappeared. In any case, when inspecting the car, you need to pay attention to traces of body repair and touch-up of parts. The ground clearance of the car is a modest 180 millimeters, and the corners of entry and exit do not promise off-road exploits, although the dirt road is quite tough for him. And the skirt of the front bumper is soft, it bends, but does not break even in winter. Isn't that a miracle? For the Ford Explorer of the Russian market, only one 3.5-liter V-shaped 6-cylinder gasoline engine with a capacity of 249 to 290 horsepower was intended. And it can be safely called very successful. Such a motor was installed on 15 more Ford, Lincoln, and Mazda models. Although, for example, the American front-wheel drive versions of the car were also equipped with a 2.0-liter inline 4-cylinder gasoline turbo engine with a capacity of 240 horsepower, and the version of the Police Interceptor, a 3.7-liter Mustang engine with a capacity of 375 liters. Nothing bad can be said about the 6, a normal modern American engine. Resourceful, high torque, and powerful. Its only oddity can be considered high idle at a temperature of the order of -10. Moreover, during a cold start, they are still somehow justified, but when warmed up, they are already a little alarming. This problem is easy to deal with by resetting the errors at the dealer, but no one guarantees that the situation will not happen again in the next frost. Considering the Ford Explorer all-wheel drive system, it should be recognized that those who call it the not-so-understandable word SUV are somewhat right. Yes, there is no downgrade, and in general, by and large, the Explorer drive system is similar to that of the LR Freelander 2, was developed by Land Rover and is structurally no different from it. The engine is transverse, the power takeoff is at the main gear, the Haldex clutch is responsible for transferring the moment back. Traction control and hill climbing assistance plus terrain management are all the same. The only difference is that the clutch block is located at the transmission and not at the rear differential, and is equipped with the cooling system. Nevertheless, problems with this unit, or, as the owners call it, razdaka, are the most common after a roof leak. The block does not provide for an oil change, but servicemen recommend changing it after 50 to 60,000 mileage, and by all means check the level after purchasing a used copy. In the early years of production, almost all transmission problems arose due to underfilling or overflowing oil. It is clear that this will not happen on machines with a good service history, but it is worth being safe. There was only one gearbox for all-wheel drive cars, a 6-speed automatic with manual mode. A hassle-free device that can only be killed by sloppy handling and a complete lack of service. Of the behavioral features of used specimens, jerks are noted during operation, which are removed by flashing the brains. It will also help if the machine seems too thoughtful to you. However, the box is self-learning, and after a few traffic jams, it will start working the way it is convenient for it. All owners note not only the excellent dynamics of a rather large car, but also its good handling. The rack and pinion steering has one global problem: the actual rake. Its replacement can lighten the owner's wallet by 150,000 rubles. And to check if this adventure awaits him in the near future, you can slightly move the cuffs. If traces of rust are visible, then replacement is just around the corner. They say that rails have learned to repair, which is good, because they are registered in the brains of the car, and when replacing, there may be problems with registration. In America, Ford Explorer costs from $37,000 and belongs to the relatively budget-class SUV. In our country, it was sold almost as a premium, which brought confusion into the fragile minds of Russian consumers, in which the amount of $2 million and the hard plastic of the cabin did not converge at all. And the plastic in the Explorer's interior is really hard in some places. True, these places still need to be reached, but after hundreds of thousands of mileage, the windshield panel, glove box lid and dome light can make annoying sounds. Alas, the seats don't last long. They sit out by the third year of operation, and the skin may begin to crack, which is typical of many American cars. The mechanically adjustable steering wheel also wears out pretty quickly and looks a little sloppy. Many owners complain about the touch panel of the audio system and the onboard computer. They say that the buttons of one system can be accidentally pressed by reaching for another. But the touch buttons are active even in the most severe frost. But there is no heated windshield in the basic configuration. Cars of this generation of Explorer lose value quite quickly. For owners of new cars, this is certainly sad, but a used buyer has a chance to get a lot of SUV for little money. Actually, most of the owners chose it for its impressive appearance and spacious interior.